live. Wonderful. Hello, it's Monday. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you can hear me and it's sounding great. Last week we had a little bit of a problem with audio issues, but we got that taken care of. Senor Posada, I have to say hello. Hello. It's been so long. Welcome. Hi, James. Welcome. Everyone's coming up in here very quickly. Hi, James. Good to see you, Mackenzie. Your Saturday night is here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being an awesome mod. Okay, we're getting into the show. Oh, I should just start talking as everyone keeps coming on in. We're here for season 2. Wonderful guests to share their story. I'm feeling fantastic. It's been a wonderful weekend. I got to do a little paddleboarding as we start to head into fall, but I'm in Florida, so I can still be outside and enjoy the beautiful weather here in the USA. My guest, however, is not in the USA. So given that she's in Europe, we wanted to go ahead and pump the show out 2 hours early and just respect her rest and her sleep, as she is a good friend of mine. So I'm your host of tonight's conversation. We're here to share our powerful stories and experiences. We want to destigmatize and normalize mental health, disability, and trauma that we all share. It's a place to share our mayhem. I want to create opportunities through connections and be that voice to break stigmas. And I encourage acceptance among it. Always add a trigger warning. We do talk about things that may be a little bit heavy, so I use discretion, and they can be a little bit mature in nature. And these are opinions and our experiences. So after another weekend, we're back for tonight's episode. It's Monday. I'm so excited. I do appreciate everyone that's coming in here. Show your love. Maybe share where you're from. Maybe we could do something new. Rick, hi. Hello. Oh, goodness. I see you. Show. Let's go. Hi. I see you. It's been so long. Usama, welcome. Scott, what's up, my friend? Usama, I've missed you. I know. I had to take some time off there, but we're back. We're rolling out some new episodes. We've got great guests. So, okay, we're coming. I'm gonna get to my guest. She's amazing. She's a wonderful author, a poet, a TEDx speaker, something I aspire to be someday. Who knows? She's an amazing leadership coach. She's from Brussels, Belgium, and she's had some life losses and trauma. And she was able to take poetry, something she learned at a very young age, and she safeguarded that to find her purpose in life. She actively writes articles and blogs and poetry that absolutely inspires me. And I've actually written poetry because of her, and thanks to her, we've shared in workshops together. But really, this episode is about her and her story and what she's been through. She shares the loss of her father in adolescence and feelings of a vanishing twin brother that we will talk about. She shares her sentiments and she examines her legacy because of the loss of her father at an early age. So we'll talk about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring in Miss Dorothy, my wonderful friend and co-host or guest for today. Welcome, Dorothy.
Oh, thank you. Yay. What
So
a wonderful
excited.
introduction.
Yeah, of course. And Scott's already saying how wonderful and truly special you are, which I agree. I'm so glad we were able to bring you into this LinkedIn family of people that really want to support each other's voices and our stories and our experiences. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yes. Hello. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate aloha to you courageously. We are here, Dorothy, because we talk about, life has hardships, and these are important
Yes.
things that we all share and we should not shy away from, but we should embrace and use to our full capacity and our benefit. And I think we shared in that disability workshop some of that stuff, as we've been able to collaborate on certain projects. And it's been just an amazing and such an experience, an honor to know you and share. So we're getting already hellos to you. Diru says
Yes.
hello.
Well, I love you all. It's wonderful to see you there.
Yes, look at that. Usama's giving you his
Hello.
regards. This is so nice. All our fellow LinkedIn friends.
Juana.
Juana, we were going to do this show, right? Juana was my guest last week, and we got it up on Restream, Juana, so I can't wait to share the stage again with you. We're going to give this another opportunity because you're important. Your story's so important, too. All our stories are really powerful and important, and I think the more we share, the more we learn from each other, and we realize we're just so similar.
Yeah, and I think it helps us connect and not feel lost and alone. And when you understand that there others are there as well, that they have their own stories, then I think it gives you hope and resilience, maybe. So that's something I had to learn, because when my father passed away, we didn't speak about him. So it was like this big silence for many, many, many years, actually, from my side at least. So yeah, I'm
Wow.
learning to share.
Yeah, and I think you alluded to that a little bit as we were preparing for the show, and how this is something that's more recent for you to talk about openly and share. And I know our friend Oleg, I haven't seen Scott. Let's get Oleg here. But I know in your episode, that episode really inspired you to really having those deeper conversations about that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, you can just go ahead and tell us a little bit about your history, your childhood, and your father, and how really your upbringing is, you know, piece of your past holds you
Okay.
now.
That's why it's getting very I'm feeling the tension now. Thanks for
Oh, no.
sharing. Yeah.
This
Very
is a
good. Very good.
conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but one of the things I wanted to share is about the vanishing twin, because that's a trauma that I experienced when I was still in the womb. So it's something that I wasn't conscious. I forgot about that, of course, and it's through work that I came to realize what had happened. So it seems that I had a brother when I was like a very small baby, maybe even usually the vanishing twin is like 3 weeks, and you have developed your ears so you can hear the other. You have a strong connection, like twins have connections,
Mhm.
and your brain is not even formed yet, but you already know that you have a very special connection with a very special someone.
Oh,
And then one day you realize that you feel that it's something is going wrong, and the other dies and
oh,
disappears, and you get born with. I mean, that's I was feeling all the time this kind of sense of solitude and not being connected and not being fully present, that type of things. And so
mhm.
throughout fairly late in my life, I realized this is what happened. But the funny thing is, I was always hoping to have a twin brother. I was always thinking, oh,
Yes.
yeah, I would love to have a twin, and if I have a twin, it's a brother, that type of thing.
Right,
So
that
that's
deep connection that was
yeah,
already present within you,
yeah,
that desire. You just didn't maybe realize that it was present and it was a loss.
yeah.
Wow, that's
Loneliness, all these things. Yeah,
wow. And yeah, you shared that in the article, and I know I shared it with in the preps for the
the legacy.
show.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we do have that. I can share it in the chat. Let's see, but I just think like the way you write, the way you share your pieces of yourself, and really, you even show like the images written from your father, in your articles, and you really like that's like one of the smallest pieces of connection that you had to him, losing him so young, and
Yeah.
just the way he was. But the article needs to be read, so.
Oh my God.
I can't give all the secrets away of what the article was really, because that would be my interpretation, and this is
Yeah,
really about you.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, is this live? Yes, LL Cool Gamer. This is live. Welcome. Welcome. We see
Welcome.
you. Yes.
Hey, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
So
Um
it's something that's most. I think about 1 out of 10 pregnancies there is a vanishing twin. So it's something that we're not aware of, and I think it's important to realize if you have this feeling of loss, of not being connected, of maybe failing a lot of things, not wanting to be in life sometimes, feeling not fully present. It might be worth exploring that part.
Oh, yeah. And I love the way you're able to explore these pieces of you through your writing and your
Mm.
poetry,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
something that really when your introduction, you learned at a very young age. I think you talked about learning at the age of 8 really was your comfort and expressing yourself in written poetry. So this is something I've always talked about. Journaling is just very difficult. I like the
Yeah.
constructs of writing,
Yeah.
like prose, but when they say journal, it's like, right, let out the emotion, just write it out. And sometimes I need that structure. So poetry has given me that, both the structure, but the space to creatively express the emotion. So I think that's why personally I've really taken to your the way you've shown me and the way you've really highlighted the importance of poetry and touching into that deeper, but the way you do it and then you write these articles to really share the experiences is touching, and
Yeah.
it really helps a lot of people connect so we can all share.
Yeah. And I think poetry is not just for expressing, like, like when I was a teenager, you write maybe goth poems or things like that. So it doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be grave. It can be fun. It can be an expression of who you are, or maybe a, a process, processing of a situation, or a thinking process even. I mean,
Mm.
from poetry, I learn a lot about myself, about the world, and it gives me an indication of a direction, or it's sort of an intuitive tool as well, to know my next step in life, or to remember who I am, and where I'm going, or why I'm going there. So that's how I use poetry as well, and from a young age, as you said, from 7 or 8. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just nice, right? That there was no, but you've had that along the way. And it got you to such a big stage. I mean, eventually, poetry and really harnessing the power in that expression really was able to get you through one of the most, another dark time in
Yeah.
adulthood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when I really learned the healing power of poetry. Is on the day after the terror attacks on Brussels, where we about 35 people were killed, and one of my friends was killed during the attack. And so I mean, in Brussels, we're very close by. It's not a very big city, but all through that night, it was um, trying to process all these emotions. And I had seen him just a few days ago, like in the weekend. I had spent 3 days with him and a group of people. So it was the connection was still very strong. And so to be with those feelings of being powerless, and we didn't know what had happened to him, so it was also, you don't want to you don't want to start grieving, because you don't know. But of course, you don't have hope either. Sometimes you have hope, sometimes you have grief, and so it's very, very complex and strange situation. And so we were also connected with friends and stuff. And the next morning, I had to write,
Yes.
and the poem came out, and it clarified a lot of things for me, not just from that situation, actually. And I think it also healed part of my father's loss. So that was, because there was also an aspect of not knowing, hoping, and with my father's death. So there were many connections, and it went much farther uh, than than um, than that situation at that moment. And and it was such a beautiful poem, really inspired, but by my friends and by the whole situation, that it got translated. So it was shared on social media, and it got translated into 70 languages.
Saw
So
that.
I'm I'm waiting for Darren's version soon. We'll see. It will be a
Oh,
surprise, I think.
Darren, yes. So I just want to say something real quick. We've been pairing tonight. We're using Restream. I just want to give a shout out to Restream that has this amazing feature where you can pair. So we are streaming to Dorothy's LinkedIn live page as well. And this comment comes from your
Olivier, my friend
page.
Olivier, yes.
Hello.
Hey.
I don't know
Olivier
what
is
time. Evening? Is it evening,
it's the same
nighttime?
time. It's like a quarter to midnight. So well done for being there, Olivier. And
Thank
Olivier is a
you.
really beautiful man who shares gratitude every day on LinkedIn right now, and he loves poetry as well, and very much of a support to everyone around him. So So I really
Wonderful.
enjoy him being there.
Well, welcome to our community, and it's nice to meet you, and it's nice to meet another fellow poet. I want to be a poet. Am I a poet? Can I say
You are a poet. You're a
I'm a
beautiful
poet?
poet.
Thank you. I have so many poet friends. I know Mackenzie's here, and she's a poet, and I know Amanda's here. Thank you for being here, Amanda. She's a poet. Which I know this is an episode I think that really relates, that she's gonna get a lot from. So I appreciate you being here and making it. Oh, okay. I don't know LL Cool Gamers. You're gonna have to tell me your name. I do see your comments in there. But I hope you can share, or we can talk offline, or you
Hmm.
can let me know. But yes, thank you. Thank you. You're amazing souls. Oh, well, we appreciate you for just being here and sharing as we talk about, even, and I know, Dorothy, you're such an advocate for poetry, and in your workshops, you've just used poetry really in your coaching, right? Because you're a coach
Hmm.
as well, and your leadership. You do group coaching. Do you do corporate, like businesses?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll accompany teams and corporations. And very often, if we have like a workshop, mostly a facilitation or a conversation in the company, then I will try to write a poem that captures the energy of the room and maybe the wisdom that was there. So that's a beautiful experience as well. It gives a special kind of depth and um, a settling, that's very important sometimes to have.
And I do believe that creativity really is such an important characteristic that we need to honor in leadership. Because
Yeah.
leadership, oftentimes, creativity is not a value or a trait or a characteristic that really is prioritized.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also tend to think that creativity is only reserved for artists or for a special kind of creativity, but
I used to
creative
think
really,
that.
yeah, there you go.
I just
But
questioned if I'm a poet, right? I'm still questioning, is my creativity, quote unquote, enough to validate myself under the namesake of a poet. So I think,
yeah,
yeah, it's very common for us to think, well, I work in this field, so since I'm not this, I can't
yeah,
consider myself a creative or
yeah,
feel that. So,
yeah,
but now I've learned the value and how important it is to honor creativity and leadership and bring that to the forefront and say it's okay. Use that creativity. We want a diverse, we want an inclusive group. We want to see new, fresh ideas and
absolutely.
perspectives.
Yeah. Yeah. And creativity is a process, and everyone knows and can do it. So, like Mackenzie was saying, creativity is for everyone, and everyone should be using it. And we use it in different ways or in different contexts. So in cooking, we use it to solve solutions, solve problems. We use it to connect people. So we tend to have this kind of idea about what it is or what it should be, or like people saying, you're not a poet if you haven't published any, or haven't been acknowledged in any sort of critical literary circles or something like that, which is,
Mhm.
I personally, I prefer to be touched by a poem than to read a poem that has been acclaimed and maybe I'm not touched by it. So, or maybe I don't learn anything new from it. Or maybe it's perfect in terms of form, but it doesn't reach my heart. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't heal me or it doesn't connect me. So I really want to give everyone permission to play and to play with words, to play with creativity, drawings, whether it's well done or not well done. It's your expression. And as you practice, you get better at it, and better means you get more fluent at it. So maybe more nuance, or maybe it satisfies you more. But I really would encourage everyone to use some form of creativity, um, because it does heal and it does connect you with who you are, and it does connect you with your purpose, and it does help you find your way in life as well. So, and even if it doesn't do any of that, it's great fun to do, and it's something you will do that's, that you are busy, you're engaged with yourself, you're engaged with the world, you're engaged with others, you're engaged with material or words or drawings or whatever it is, or ingredients, and that helps you relate better, and yeah, just have joy basically.
Ah, I love it. I know we're going to talk a little bit about the healing component because, that's important that we do talk about that. But they're having a good conversation. I don't know, poetry in motion. I'm loving the comments. We breathe, so we create. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. I'm of the belief that almost anything can be art.
I
Okay.
agree.
Oh, Darren, thank you. Your umbrella poem was unreal.
Yes.
Pivotal
Yes.
time. I still refer to that workshop. I found that to just be useful in so many ways. I've dissected it in my head and deconstructed and reconstructed every part of that workshop. And I've taken away so many things, so many. Yes, I've got my little umbrella tattoo that was like an homage to that experience and really sinking into poetry because of that and just allowing everything we talked about and just opening up our heart really with words and feelings. And so
you should share the umbrella poem in the comments here, or share it again
somewhere. I know I have a picture of it too. I have to maybe find it. But yeah, I can do that at some point if I can find it. I might have it here. Let me see it.
We have this project, I think, with certainly with Darren. I want to do that, but to have a kind of an open mic on LinkedIn maybe someday, and just share the poems that we will have written, see what happens with that, just for the because that's also an interesting practice, is to actually say your poem. You writing is one thing, sharing it is another, and getting the response and accepting that response is also something else. So it can be tough and very rewarding to do. So that's one of the projects we have on the site for someday.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, it's always, 2022 is something I've been kind of warming up to as we just wrap up this last quarter and we start our last quarter. And then, of course, next year, who knows what opportunities will come and what new skills I'll really be polishing. I'm really excited about the things that I'm working on. And I'm sure you have lots of projects and you have some really good things coming up in the future, and maybe we'll talk about that later too. I'm really connecting poets with each other's. Yes, I love this is making me that much more feel inspired. My life is art. Anything can be of the heart. Oh, that's adorable. Wait, did I no Oh, I was trying to pull it up. The chat's going a little quick right now. There it is. Anything could be of the heart. So yeah, I think I agree. And I did find my picture, so I can pull that up as well. Cool. Let me see if I can my poem. But this is because of Dorothy. This is because of all Dorothy. Let's see. There it is. Well, I'll just move this way. Oh, look, Dorothy, like this.
Oh wait, I have to go this way.
There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna take a picture of this. So this is called umbrella, right? I'm holding it up, providing protection, comfort, kindness, sheltering with acceptance, refugee. So for me, the umbrella really is something that I love to hold up, and I want to provide protection to others and comfort in their disabilities and in their times and through their when they need me, meet them where they're at, something I really like to talk about. So really that's from the place that I come from, advocating for mental health and disability, trauma and opportunity, and break down those stigmas. So that's where I want to be a refuge for people. I want to try to create some sort of safe umbrella where we can gather and dry off and, maybe share a laugh and a hot cup of coffee, right? share something together, but really bring that comfort. So for me, it is important as we continue to build and move forward, and as we continue to really not forget what we're in the process of doing. I'm a very focused person, and so I always like to take things back to, staying working on the things that were really are inspired for us and meant for us, and not really losing track. So I really like to encourage that. And so I don't know, I've just been finding you're both inspiring. Thank you so much. Always carry an umbrella. Yes. Umbrellas are base. Oh, hi, Mythic Russ. Welcome, D Live. Representing D Live platform. This is so nice.
Cool.
Welcome. So exciting. Protection and being a sanctuary. Yes. So really that was the intent behind the poem. That was the emotion I was feeling, and I used your wonderful structure.
Mm.
So that was such a thank you, Darren, for that.
And you know, it's amazing because you have given your whole purpose, you know, through the poem and explaining the poem afterwards. And every time you send me a little umbrella emoji, you know, immediately I get connected to your sense of, you know, the refuge and the protection, and
Yeah.
it very, you know, I feel better just seeing your icon, and you know, because I
Thank
know your
you.
poem and I know what it means. So yeah.
Thank you. Well, again, that was inspired by you. But let's talk about your poem. I really want to share your poem, and I'm sure people want to know this poem that you've been talking about right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
For Love is the actual title of the poem. And you wrote it, like you said, the day after, right? The
Yeah.
tragic
Yeah.
bombing. It was a
The
bombing.
bombing, it was, yeah,
Hmm.
two bomb. Oh, I mean, several bombs. Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm. And then so in your article, I mean, I can start maybe share that a little bit. Let me see if we can.
Okay.
You had a wonderful picture here of your articles are unique because you share visuals, and these are your true visuals. These are your photos, these are your images, whether you've created them or you're sharing a piece of something that you have. So I'm going to share this screen and we'll see how this goes. Let's see.
Gabby Leal is here as well. Hello.
Oh, hello. Okay. So I don't know if
This was a picture actually of a
yeah.
man, an Iraqi man, just below that CG was just there.
Yeah.
And after this is like maybe 10 days after or something like that, and
Hmm.
the poems have been translated. And so I go on this is, you see, the flowers are the flowers that were deposited for the
Yes.
victims, and so
Yes. Let's see if
and
I
so
can.
I went to this place with the poems, with all the versions of the poems that I had then. And so I met people and I just asked, you know, which language do you speak in Brussels? You have many languages, like 200 languages and more.
Hmm.
And so so this Iraqi man actually you know, read the poem in Arabic, and then we
Yeah.
hugged because I was so touched by what he was saying and he was touched by the poem, and we just we
I'm
didn't know
touched
each
by the
other, but
photo. The photo brings it to seeing the flowers, seeing the
yeah,
man holding the poem. You can just feel the emotion.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
for me, just going through your article and reading and just, I just found it so powerful. Oh my goodness, so powerful. And
And this
beautiful
is
artwork.
Arabic calligraphy of the poem. And
Yes.
many people contributed. You know, if they could draw, they did something in drawing, or they, you know, translating or sharing it or saying it, or you know. So that's
Hmm.
it's been a wonderful way to find to know about this connection and the support and the solidarity from people around you, and also that you don't need much to be able to contribute. So
Oh,
just
calligraphy.
translating a poem or sharing it or doing a music or
Yeah. But the creativity and the healing, right? Going back to the healing and how you've
hmm.
always find that. So, and now it heals. Now it's just a poem known for its healing properties and what it's really become, the 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 representation behind it. So, it's just been, and I saw this too when you left us. I'm like, wow. So this was something that was handed out or another handout.
Yeah, yeah, I have many postcards with this, so I have the poems
Yeah.
in several languages, and sometimes there's a drawing on the back, or there's different languages, and so we send like 100 of these with a little message from people to students in Damascus in Syria, because you know, I kind of participated to a TED talk there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, through video, and
Look
so
at that.
so these postcards were sent with a message to students in Damascus, to because we were connecting and we were yeah, sharing something common and sharing the same, you know, horror of
Yeah.
terrorism, and violence, and
Right.
of
And
course
it continues
they
today. It still continues around the
yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah,
So this is
yeah,
still relevant.
yeah.
So
It's
important.
unfortunately it's relevant all the time.
Yes. Ooh, look
Yeah.
at that. So, I mean, it really brings you that closer, your articles to everything and just going through it. But this is my favorite.
Hmm.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I saw this. I followed it. And I wanted to share it. I know it really was such a touching, emotional poem. And I said, well, once we're talking about this, we're going to have to share this so everyone else. And these are your words. So we have to. Um, this was animated by, do you know Maria? You're going to have to help me
Yeah.
with the last name.
Maria Fulquier. She's a
Yeah.
Spaniard living in Brussels who is a visual artist, and she helps people with visual harvesting at conferences and so. And so she offered
Yeah.
to do this animation. So that's something she did on her own time with her team, actually, with the support of her team.
Okay.
And the
So,
music are by two Costa Ricans who composed the music based on the poem and on my voice as well.
yeah. Oh, I was trying to put the
Oh, is it?
screen on there, but let's go
Yeah.
ahead. Okay. So I guess we'll go ahead and play it. Could you hear the first couple notes? Was the
I
sound
could
clear
hear
on
the
there?
first notes. Yes, yes,
Okay. Let's see.
yes,
Hopefully, chat. Let me know.
yes. They can hear it.
Thank you. Wait. Guess we'll just save it like that.
I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart. I shall stand for love, for the world is wounded, not just my little piece of land, but our world, everywhere, every day. I shall stand for love, for we need more light, not more death, not more powers, not more bombs. I shall stand for love so that our children may be safe, our friends sheltered, our borders open. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart.
Ooh. Wow. Ooh. Wait. Ah, I don't want to lose Dorothy. Wait.
I'm here.
There we go. All right. I know. I know. So look at that. I'm not crying. You're not crying. Isn't that beautiful?
Hmm.
It's moving. It just really captured everything I felt reading through the article, looking through your photos. I can just touches the soul. How can it
Yeah,
not?
yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. It's yeah, and
Hi,
I
Rosemary.
yeah.
It's okay.
Gracias.
There's not,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was supposed to do. It was kind of just
Hmm.
leave you with that, right? And just,
Yeah.
it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So, Amanda, you need to connect with my dear friend Dorothy. There's a lot you could share. There's so much you could share. So, I'm so glad she's here. I feel like there's really like a lot of movement and connectivity, and messages are being shared tonight, and I know that that's what this is about. Really, is just taking that trauma we've shared, pieces of trauma we can all relate to, and how we can turn that into something, harnessing our power, our we can only save ourselves.
Yeah.
No one can save you. You can't save someone else.
No.
I
No.
mean, given in this sense, in this context, honestly, right? I mean, when we talk about other serious topics like suicide, then, we can always talk about saving a life. But in this sense, we can only save ourselves, and we have to find ways to heal. And then our voices can be honored, our experiences can be honored, and we can uplift those around us and continue to bring others forward.
Yeah, and I think it's great if you to look for your own voice and to express your own voice, and there are many different ways of doing that. And for me, it's through poetry, or it's through the talks, or the writing sometimes. And for other people, it's other ways, and that's for
Yeah.
other people is and that's important to find your own way and to find your own voice, and not do like everybody else does, because it may not be your right way. It may be, it may not be. And your own
Exploring.
tonalities, and exploring, and that's the best thing you can do. And as you are exploring, then you are also healing. And as you are healing and sharing your voice, then other people can explore and find their voice,
And
and
curiosity.
resonate. Mhm. Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
curious. Be curious.
Yeah,
Question things.
absolutely.
Yeah.
um play with them, be curious. Yeah. And
Mm.
share, speak about things. um
That's a
it's
big one for you.
it
Speaking.
is it is I'm a very private person, and also I think I don't know, I guess I never realized I could speak to others or something like that. So there's been often I will tend to keep those things to myself, and then but I've learned that it's really so much better when you have a conversation with Diru, for instance. It's everything changes. So I've
Yeah.
been encouraged by the LinkedIn community actually to also share a little bit more and to contribute to um, a better world, because it's okay to share your story, and it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to have
It's okay to find
your
your
trauma.
voice. Look
It's
for
okay
your
to find
voice.
your voice, to look for
Find
your
it.
voice. Yeah. Yeah.
Amplify it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's other people that can relate. There's other people that will be there, that will uh, find it
Hear
and then
you, they will. Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I mean, I've really learned this lesson this year. It's something that I've been working on, finding my voice, you finding your voice, so many of us. And I
Hmm.
think now, why not now? Why not now? Right? That's why I'm here. Why not now? Like, look at how fast time goes. I know the concept of time is something I talk about here and there, but um, personally in like my own conversations. But really, like, there is no time like the now. So it's really just, what can you do now? Not focusing too much on the future, not really giving too much to the past, but really extending yourself now and I think that's a lot of the healing that we talk about in other situations or in other conversations when it comes to mental health, and just staying in the
Hmm.
current now, in the time and the space, finding a way to ground yourself through things.
Yeah.
Um, Things that are good for you, that soothe you, that provide you the soul nourishment that you need to be able to, and surrounding yourself with loved ones or people that it do inspire you, that do give you that space to, hey, let it out. I want to hear all about it, Dorothy. It is important to me. Your story is important to me. You know.
Oh, well, that works.
Well, it is. And let your voice be heard.
Yeah,
Yes, very much
absolutely.
so. All of that really was a lot of the backbone of my show. Soul nourishment. I know. Where do I come up with these things? That's just me speaking, I guess, from the heart. But I just find it so beneficial in how, just allowing yourself, giving yourself the grace, the space, not muffling your own voice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You,
That takes practice and work, I guess, and being seen by others or allowing yourself to be seen. And so it's a life experience, a lifetime. I think it's not well, at
but you
least for
shared,
me, it's a lifetime
yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Well, you shared when you were young, you also were taught not to speak of these things, right? Like even the loss of your father, you didn't have time to grieve. I mean, we just had an episode on grieving and
Hmm.
really like how maybe you weren't allowed to. There is no space for
Well,
that. I don't know.
yeah, there were different things, I guess. Well, I guess it's part of my personality as well,
Mhm.
and part is my, it's my family was grieving in their own way as well, so we didn't really have
Yeah,
those
or cultural,
conversations.
you're
It
taught.
kind of yeah. Whereas when I compare with the family of my friends, they were much more sharing about these things. So it's a completely different conversation and connection. So that has an influence, and yeah. And how do you, I guess, how do you, I was also wanting to spare others as well, because
Hmm.
just to say, hey, my dad died, and you're 17 years old, so it's kind of a difficult conversation to have anyway, or to start. So yeah, I think it took about 20 years before I actually spoke about my father. So yeah, that's a long
Wow.
time.
Yeah. And we really didn't talk about how did you find the purpose. I mean, even at the young age, how did you know from young age you gravitated towards poetry, and it just took you on this lifelong journey that we've shared. And the TEDx is out there too as well. That wonderful stage of that, you sharing that and talking about
Hmm.
that experience as well, but really like the purpose, your life's purpose, and how all this plays into that.
Yeah, I'm always asking myself the same question, so it comes back. It's not like I have this like clarity about,
But
uh
it's part of your legacy. So you've been
but it
creating and molding this legacy.
yeah, every time it's yeah, indeed, it's every time it's right about it, it's write a poem, it's every time the answer. And really what I want to do is to invite people to do, to find their voice. And so yeah, that's what I noticed, because I don't have children as well. So it's kind of, what is the, it's part of that conversation, is what is your contribution then, how do you make life better, what do you leave in life afterwards, what is
Well,
your, now, because I've received life, so how do I give it further, how do I transmit further. So the writing and the poems, and and the videos is part of that, is to give that information, or to share that, yeah. And that's how I consider my legacy. And I was asking myself, yeah,
that's it.
do I need to have a curator for my poems? But my philosophy has always been to share them freely. It's like all the poems are, most of the time, they can be found everywhere. Or if somebody asks for a poem, it's there. So it's part of that. It's difficult to say,
Yeah.
to say no to sharing what you have received, basically. So
Oh.
that's how I sense
It's
that.
your innate gift.
Yeah,
It's one of your innate gifts. I
it's
mean, obviously, and then just the way you facilitate, right? You've learned to help others and facilitating in them, and I'm a perfect example. I mean, just in our conversations and our interactions and just our energy and exchange of energy, right?
Yeah.
through a
Yeah.
poem or non-verbally through an Instagram, really. But it's so much more, right? It's words, but there's feelings, there's emotions, and that right there is also part of the legacy. And you said
Yeah.
something that I was like, well, and this is, I'm gonna go off the beaten path, so I'm gonna get on a different soapbox for a second. But motherhood, should not be a marker
Mm-hmm.
for success or anything.
Mm-hmm.
By far, like that's that's just, I guess, a whole nother sidebar conversation. But no, I mean, you've definitely, like, this whole episode has really embarked on your contributions to society and creativity and changing our perspective on creativity to use that as an asset in anything, and finding ways to use that and to find our voice and to continue to push ourselves forward through healing. Just, those values that you really constantly, I think, I find in your work, that I
Mm-hmm.
find in your, and it's those common same fabric values, those threads that are just interwoven, that,
Yeah.
so, even you didn't know you've done it, but you've done it. You did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. I had to. I guess I had to be faithful to myself all the time. So
and
sometimes
that's
I tried, but
what you've created. I mean, just something
mhm.
so unique and very. I mean, no one really has your story, right? People say that, like, no one can share your story. Your story is from a very specific and unique perspective. So, that's why we encourage others to share their stories, their
Mm.
unique stories, and encouraging them to use tools like creativity or, like seeking healing, really encouraging people to seek
Yeah.
healing, gain awareness and insight, and how they can hopefully create safe spaces. We can
Yeah.
encourage people to create safe spaces to have these continued.
And as you said, be curious about that, because you never know what sort of solutions or possibilities are available. So, and that's why I'm very grateful for the internet and technology, because you get access to a lot of information, and I think that's it's something I didn't do, so I didn't realize I could actually go out and find information, or whether it's connecting to people or having conversations. So I would really encourage everyone to know there are many different ways of finding not only your voice, but your healing as well. So you try and see what works for you. And yes, Diru definitely is working
I'm
on his
not here
healing, I'm
to.
sure.
So a lot of people have come across the whole hustler mentality, and I know, we make jokes about hustler mentality, but really healing. Let's think of the healing mentality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's something that really needs to be respected as well. The healing
It's
mentality.
it's our task. Huh? I mean, it's a word from the poet Rumi. He
Mm.
says something like, "Your task is not to seek love, but to remove the obstacles in yourself. The obstacles to love in yourself." So that's healing. It's to really find those places that are hurt, and you don't have to change what happened, because that happens, but you're to heal those wounds in a way that they become uh, not scars or walls, or they become like a skin. They become um, organic
Like,
and
or not to
open.
be shamed, right? So we talk about that. Nothing to be shamed
Mm,
or to have guilt over, have
yeah,
experienced. Letting go of that guilt and shame. I feel like we talk about that almost in every episode because it's such a huge burden that so many of us continue to carry because of those stigmas of society, because of,
yeah,
right, all the discrimination that continues to happen, or even like your poetry, how relevant it is in international, across many cultures, and just like all the different things going on. I'm not really into politics or international affairs, but still, in the sense, like, it's a lot out there, and the shame and the guilt can just make
yeah,
you easily sick.
yeah. I think they probably are the worst feelings to have, and then yeah.
Damage.
if the worst to damage and to prevent us from seeking conversations or help or resources. So yeah, I think
Expressing.
if yeah
Expressing yourself, right?
yeah
Finding those ways to express that, not internalizing it, not shoving it down. And again, you do such I'm sure you've kind of informally like said that, like now that you're able to openly and share, but it's been such a process to learn that it's okay to share those
yeah
things,
yeah
and finding a way to share them properly, to
mm-hmm,
share them safely, to
mm-hmm.
share enough where you don't feel like you're sharing too much. Certain
Yeah
things don't need to be shared, of
yeah
course. There's a level of balance that you want. So,
yeah
well,
that's very tricky. It's how safe is your environment? How safe are you? How much can you share? Do you share the biographical elements or the learning from it? Or it's it's very tricky.
it
And
is hard.
what is the tone of voice when you're sharing? So what is the message when you're sharing? So yeah
It's a lot, but it's really a beautiful space, and I love sharing that umbrella in that space. I love sharing that with you, having those conversations where you're on the brink of, ooh, it's
yeah
uncomfortable,
yeah
but then you want uncomfortableness with the safety to allow that growth, to allow that something to blossom, something to flourish. Um, so I know I really try carefully to cultivate conversations like that. So thank
yeah
you.
so
You're so kind. But yeah, so I guess, for me, that's really something that I didn't realize, and it came and it kind of just stuck. And I think we can all find those kinds of examples in our lives if we really just, those the symbolism in our lives, I guess, right?
hmm
The
hmm
symbols that really we can find safety into. But whew, we've talked a lot, Dorothy.
yes, we have shared a lot.
Thank you.
Right. It's wonderful to be here. Wonderful to see all the responses. I'm not reading everything, but yeah, it's great to have this great audience as well. And I know that they are doing their part as well. And I love that.
Yeah,
And I
it's a
love.
wonderful community
Mm,
we're creating. Thank you,
wonderful.
Deru. I've missed you. I hope you're well. I'm so glad
Yeah.
that we can be here tonight. We're all sharing and we're really like once again communicating and just vibing. Oh, I miss the vibe. I miss the vibe. So, Dorothy, I know it's late. We're gonna get wrapping it up. How can people connect with you? I know I do have some of your information. Obviously want to
On the
encourage everyone
invitation.
to get to your TEDx speech, go to YouTube, like it. You have your own YouTube page. We want everyone over on your YouTube page where you're sharing your poems, and you're going to keep doing guests, and you have your own
Yeah.
show. Are you working on
Yeah.
your own show, and then whatever you've got in the works?
Yeah. We
So
have something interesting coming up. Yeah.
okay. And you're on Instagram, so I love your
Yes.
Instagram. I do follow you on Instagram closely, and Twitter. You're active on Twitter.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm more active on Instagram in terms of poetry, but yeah,
Mhm.
Twitter is. Yeah, I don't have many following on Twitter. It's a very strange instrument, so I'm
Well, that.
experimenting with it, I guess, or not really, but I say hi from time to time.
Oh, well, I enjoy. I know there's a large writing community on Twitter. And I know it's really, a fun platform. I really enjoy it. But is there anything else I should share? Any last pieces that I may have missed? Anything that you want to touch on that we may want
No,
to
I
revisit as
I
we
was going to say maybe if if people who want to read the articles, it's on Medium, so
Mhm.
that's maybe nice to know.
Let's see. Yep,
Um,
I got
and
this one. Bye.
yes, yes, and there. I mean, if you connect there, it's published on Medium, so it's
Mhm.
there as well. I write a little bit about the experiences I have with creativity, and short articles about the songwriting workshop I went to and the limiting beliefs I encountered there. So, and how I learned the motorcycle to ride a motorcycle for the first time, and and what was the first lesson there, which was to manipulate the motorbike. So things like that. So I don't.
But when
Yeah.
you write more, I have a
Mhm.
question real quick. Your next article, so you write for on different platforms. So how do I know when your next article is coming? You usually
Yeah.
post it on LinkedIn too, right? You do
Yeah.
post your articles on LinkedIn so people can go and find them and read them and engage with them.
I'm actually very bad at this because I don't want to inundate people with messages and
Oh
articles and
yeah.
posts and so on. So normally I try to send a mailing letter from time to time. So
Okay.
one way would be to sort of connect on the website and share your email address there. And
Okay.
otherwise, I sort of try to sometimes Instagram, sometimes LinkedIn. So I'm
So just
afraid
keep
you
your
may
eyes
have.
everywhere.
Yeah, yes. I'm
Good
afraid you
thing.
have to be open to that and be
Oh, that's good.
investigator.
No, I follow you on all your platforms, so for me, I'll find it and I'll see it and I'll be excited about it. But you really have given me something new that I'm never gonna forget, and I really do appreciate you, and I hold you so terribly valuable, and just
Yeah.
everything that you share and that you give and that you represent has so I thank you, Dorothy. Thank you for spending this late evening with me, and I want to let you get some rest, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And
Uh, Thank you. No, it was a pleasure to be here so late. I just loved it. So thank you. I will
Aw.
always come to your shows whatever time it is. And thank you,
Yes, well,
everyone.
I'm sure we'll get together again soon, and I know since you're working on some projects and Deru's around, and I'm sure we'll have another chit chat sometime soon and have another
For sure.
conversation. Because I think what we're creating now really is long term. There is longevity in this. It is sustainable, and I like to really try to create things that are sustainable and really
Yeah.
um, are gonna have that. So thank you again, my dear. It's been an honor. And we're
Thank
gonna say
you.
goodbye, and we're gonna start our outro and say good
Mm.
night. Good night.
Good night. Stand for love. Good night.
Stand for love. Yes. Hashtag.